Hi everyone, this is Snan from CarInspected, and today we're in the south shore of Montreal. We're taking a look at this 2017 Hyundai Sonata. This is the fully loaded version. Starting with a walk around, it has pretty much all of the options, or most of the options that came on this model for that year, for 2017. It is the 2.0 T, as you can see there. A little bit of corrosion starting on the tips, the exhaust tips here and here. I don't know if you were able to notice, but if you can see the paint difference between the quarter panel and the bumper, slight. But yeah, this was repainted. So I'll show you briefly what I mean. So this is not repainted. This side is not. Manufacturing date of this specific car is July 14, 2016. They just concluded a computer scan. The beep that you hear is because the key is in my pocket and it's not inside the car. Wear indicators on the tires are pretty much done. The tires are finished, front and back. They're below 3/32, so you need new tires for this. When I go with a paint thickness gauge, you see here normal, almost normal paint thickness, but then when I come in here, you have a higher thickness here too, but then here starts to thin out again, and then here is almost, or pretty much back to normal, and then here too, and then here too. So the variation in the thickness is accounting for the waviness in the paint. So if you look, the paint is not perfect. No car has a perfect paint, but some people call it orange peel. Professionals call it orange peel. You can see the pillar here, the C pillar has been repainted. So, and here too, we're at 400 micrometers. So this is pretty thick. So I don't know what happened, but this is 237. So damage was mostly in this area, and then starts to thin out again, and then back to normal again here. So I don't know what exactly happened. I know that there was damage. See here, this is because it was repainted and the paint was thinned out here, and a stone chip hit and it took a little chunk of the paint. There was a little chunk of the paint missing here too. Misalignment of this panel a little bit. So I did look. This is the front radar. There's a lot of information that I'm trying to convey all at the same time. So let me just open the hood. I'll show you what I mean. So conclusion for the body: the front driver's side quarter panel, part of the door, but it has been repainted. But then look here, these are the bolts that hold the back door to the car, and these are the bolts that hold the front door to the car. These are painted the same color as the car, so it's really easy to see. If anybody is to take a, there, you can probably see it, but then there, right there, these are the bolts that hold the door to the car. They haven't been moved, they haven't been played with or altered in any way, so that tells me that whatever damage it was local, and they didn't remove any panels, because if this was removed, I would see scratches here that this holds the fender in place. Here too, nothing in the hood. The hood is original. Engine is nice and smooth. It's got 102,000 kilometers on it. Headlights are original. Battery has been replaced. I checked it. Oil needs a replacement, but it's good condition right now. Coolant, it passes the freezing temperature test, which is good. Brake fluid is good as well. So engine bay, I'm not too worried. The turbo's in good condition. I don't think anybody touched it or played with it or anything like that. ABS controller there. No issues, I don't see anything. I saw the accessory belts. They're in good shape as well. I mean, engine bay, I'm not too worried. See here, the bolts that hold this in place as well. There's no damage or anything like that. So, a little bit of imperfections on the front bumper, normal for use. There too, just stone chips from driving here too. Windshield is original Hyundai. All windows are original. Interior is in pretty good condition. I think a child seat was installed in the rear seats, which we're gonna get to in a second. Just open the trunk for you so you'll see it as well. Trunk is practically new. I folded the seats so you'll see. That's the subwoofer. Spare tire kit is all there. It's been used before, but it's all there. Everything is there. So, here, if the damage was big, what they normally do is they would just take out this piece and they would just cut it and remove it and install a new one. And they would like cut here and they would replace that whole part. But I don't think this is what happened because these are the original welds at the manufacturer. I've seen cars where they're welded aftermarket. There is the tricky one. You see, this one has been removed and replaced. Look at this. This is original welds from the factory right here. This is not. This is a work of a shop. So even though the paint thickness did pass, but this piece has been replaced, which means that whatever damage, they decided to just replace that whole quarter panel. So the damage is bigger than I had anticipated with the paint gauge alone. So both C-pillars have been damaged. The front driver's side has been damaged. So I'm assuming there is a big claim on this car. If you look at the Carfax report, I hope that there would be one. Now sometimes I'm gonna read the Carfax report and see. There you go. This is all aftermarket welding and sealing. The original seal would look something like this. See that? That would be original seal. Again, I don't know what happened, but I can tell you there was moderate damage, at least moderate damage to this panel. Front, not so much. Everything looks nice and original. It was a repaint though, but here there was a replacement of an entire quarter panel. So that's something to take into consideration. Now, this is the bad. Now the good is the car comes with a lot of options. Rear heated seats. These are installed backwards. These should not be this way. These are usually installed facing out so that, anyway, I don't know who installed this. This was not installed correctly. What I'm talking about are those hooks. Those hooks need to be facing out so that it's supposed to connect this way, not this way. Because now, when it's windy and you have the window open, it's just gonna pop it out because the wind would be coming this way. Anyway, just a note. We'll check on the other side to see if it matches. Inside, the car is in really good shape. A little dirt here. Signs that a rear child seat has been installed. Yep, rear child seat has been installed here, but the back of the front seats are clean. Let's check now, I'm curious. Yep, you see, this is how it's supposed to be installed. So I don't know who played with the driver's side, but I seem to doubt the work that was done in the repair. So it seems like it has knocked out the curtains or the curtain holders, and they had to reinstall them. Now the car has been into at least a moderate incident. Now tires, as I said, they're done. The brakes are new. Front brakes, the rotors and the pads are pretty much new, but in the back they only replaced actually the rotors are not bad either. The brakes in the back are new, but the rotors, I think they have some mileage on them, but they're not in bad shape. We're about to take the car for a test drive. The reason why you see this rust is because the car has been parked for a while, as opposed to a car that has been, you see this one has been parked for a while as well. If a car is driven often, then it would have much less rust on the rotors. These are just cars that are parked in the lot, so nothing abnormal here. Undercarriage is in pretty good shape. Now, given the incident that the car has experienced, I have to test drive it and make sure that it's aligned properly, but I normally don't like to go for cars that have had this type of damage to them. I'll read the Carfax report. It'll be provided by the dealer, but normally that's a showstopper for me. Even though the car has a lot of options, it's very tempting. Let's go in. Seats are nice and good. Some scratches you can see there, but bolsters are good. Both sides, rear as well. Panoramic roof is nice and good. Let's go in. So, run you through the options after the scan. Engine, transmission, ABS, airbag, all no codes. Immobilizer, electronic parking brake here, aircon, electronic power steering, battery control, lane departure warning. As you can see, there are no faults, and we are at 17, 18, 19, 20 computers. Blind spot detection. It's got no codes, but 0 codes. Actually, I wanted to show you something. Let it do its scan again, because the airbag does show a question mark for Hyundai, but that doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the airbag. Close the window. Radio's working. Everything is fine here. It has the XM radio, but obviously you have to buy do a membership. Now let's do on auto for the air conditioning. It's in Fahrenheit. I'm not sure why, but that can be changed. Heated steering wheel. In the steering wheel you have a lot of controls. Voice detection.
Please say a command.
And then you have volume, you have change of stations, etc. Here you have the active cruise control. You have the cruise control on, off, and then you have the different menus here. You have a lane departure warning, service in 5,000 kilometers. There's just a lot of options in the car. Like it has a lot. It has the rear view mirror with the compass. The compass is right here. It has the sunshades and the rear shades as well. Heated and cooled seats. As I mentioned, I mean, it's got every option. Navigation. Now, if we go into the main menu, Apple CarPlay is there. An iPhone was installed. Android Auto is there. Voice commands and setup. As I said, I mean, for the options, it's pretty much got everything. USB 12-volt socket here. Little scratch here. Sorry for the gloves. It's just a really surprised to see how cold it is in Montreal today. Very cold and windy for an April day. The user manual is in English, and auto high beams or auto lights, so you don't need to activate them every time. Just leave it on auto. Here. The wipers work, no issues there. Side view mirrors, I checked everything. The side view mirrors come with the blind spot detection warning. All windows work. The roof works. Again, in terms of options, it's got everything. I'll close the panoramic roof so you'll get a good view. Everything's nice and clean there. So, electronics, mechanics, the car is actually surprisingly well, but it's been through an accident. Yeah. So I'm not there. You see here. Just keep this. Let me try to zoom if I can, just a little bit. See that? That's a scratch. There. That's a scratch. So they've opened the door, they've readjusted. So I know that something major, or at least moderate, has happened to the car. Before we go outside, I want to show you the airbag incidents. There are none, but some of you might be asking why is there a question mark. So the way Hyundai does things is airbag event number 1 and event number 2. We're just going to read the codes. Battery voltage high. Telltale lamp failure, which is this here. No incident of deployment or anything, so. Battery voltage high, passenger airbag, telltale lamp failure, this thing. So that's why you have a question mark in the airbag, but all other systems passed, as you can see. Now, I want to show you something quickly just before we leave That was Hyundai scanning, obviously, and then we're gonna go into onboard diagnostics just while we're waiting. Car has 102,472 kilometers. Monitors incomplete are 4, which means that the codes were recently deleted. Malfunction indicator status is off, but monitors incomplete is 4. This should say monitors OK 8, monitors incomplete 0. But the only way to get to there is you need to drive the car, you need to put at least a good 400 kilometers of normal driving, which is a combination of city and highway driving. So that's going to be reflected in the report. There's a stone chip, a couple of them, just very minor, but here, there's one. There's another one. There, and then just some very small ones in the front. Again, normal use, nothing strange here. We'll do a final walk around before we take the car for a test drive. So, normally my advice would be to steer clear, but I'm completing the inspection. Just to be clear, I haven't seen the Carfax report yet, so I'm gonna read that and I'll add some more comments in the report itself. Taken a lot of pictures of the car. I will still go ahead with the test drive because I will do a complete inspection on this. So you'll find the pictures in the description section wherever you're seeing this. And well, this concludes the video part. There is a report that will be sent to the customer. This video will not be shared with the public until many months after the car is transferred ownership. So by the time you see this, the car would most likely have been sold, but obviously the customer would have a first access. It stays in our private collection. Only people with the link will be able to see the video. Alright, well, this has been Sonata from CarInspected, and that was a pre-purchase inspection on this 2017 Hyundai Sonata 2.0T, and we're in the South Shore of Montreal. Thank you for watching. We'll see you on the next video. Here's a short video of the test drive of the 2017 Hyundai. It's not aligned, it's not driving straight. So it could be an alignment issue, as simple as that, or it might be something that is wrong with the way the car was repaired. I also found a little bit of damage on the steering wheel, nothing major. I took a picture of it. These are the firmware, in case you decide to go ahead with the purchase. But I looked at the Carfax report. The Carfax report said that there was damage found, but it did not give a price on the damage. So yeah, that tells me that there is moderate to heavy damage to the car where it was repaired. So even though it has all of the options, even though everything passed, I normally advise against these cars. The salespeople are very nice. They were not aware of my findings. They did not know that the car had any of they know that it had a Carfax report claim, but they don't know how. See, I'm adjusting the steering all the time because it pulls to the left if I'm driving straight. So the sales people did not know the extent of the damage, but they know that there was damage, so I'm not blaming them at all. They're going with what they have. But the car does have moderate to major damage. All right, well, that concludes the video. Thank you for watching.